Hi friends, welcome back to Ouroboros Tarot. So today's mini pick a card reading is an energetic check-in for no contact. So today we're going to be looking into how they remember you, how they remember themselves in this connection, as well as how they are currently feeling about this separation. And I also have pulled some channeled messages for you guys as well. So I have 4 piles for you to choose from today. Pile 1, Pile 2, Pile 3, and Pile 4. Go ahead and pause this video if you need to. Take as much time as you need to find the pile that sits right with your energy as well as with your person's energy, and I will see you in a minute. Hi Pile 1. So this is a no contact mini reading, and we're looking into how your person remembers you, how they remember themselves, and how they're currently feeling about this separation. We also have some channeled messages here for you as well. So your person is remembering themselves in this connection. They're looking back currently at how they showed up, and what they see is the dragon and the rescuer. They're looking back at you and remembering you as the bee and the goddess. So Pile 1, I would say that this person is looking back pretty fondly over the entire connection. They're looking at themselves as somebody who perhaps during this connection was going through some really major transformations or changes within their own life. Perhaps they were working on their relationship with their self or within their spirituality of some kind. And they were really focused on that, perhaps a little bit more focused on themselves than they were on you. However, with the rescuer here, it seems to me like I wouldn't say that they see themselves as someone who was in these shadow attributes, because how they're remembering you is as somebody who is very empowered. So I don't think that they are remembering themselves as somebody who was putting in effort or attempting to help you in some way, only to gain something from you, only to manipulate you in some way. It seems like they really are remembering themselves as somebody who was willing to do whatever it took to make you happy, or to make you feel safe or heard or cared for. And of course, you could be thinking the complete opposite. Perhaps you're looking back on this connection and thinking, no, this person was doing all of these things for me, but it was never anything that I asked for. They never listened or heard me in the way in which I needed. And that could be the case, but they're looking back at themselves and thinking, I was supportive of my partner. They're looking at you as somebody who was just a delight to be around, in all honesty. Somebody who was joyful, who kept themselves busy, was creative, was a team player. They're looking at you somewhat in the same light as they're remembering themselves, in which they're remembering you as somebody who was supportive and was willing to collaborate with them, but also somebody who's truly beautiful and very much within their feminine energy, their feminine power. I just heard a force to be reckoned with. Overall, they're looking back at this connection with kind of like a warm heart. Now let's look into how they are currently feeling about this separation. So we have the 6 of Pentacles, the 4 of Cups, the 2 of Wands, the 2 of Cups, the 9 of Pentacles, and Temperance. Okay, so the thing that stood out to me the most was this 4 of Cups card and the 9 of Pentacles, because typically when you look at the 4 of Cups in other decks, you see an image of somebody with their arms crossed and they're refusing to look at a cup that is being offered to them. But here, the image is of somebody pouring one of the cups that they have onto a rose. And then we see another person looking in. And this person, this is representative to me. And honestly, I see this eye right here, and it's the same imagery as this dragon. This person feels like they are on the outside looking in, and what they are seeing right now is a glow up from you. They are seeing somebody who is really nurturing themselves, being kind to themselves, healing, and standing in their own personal power. They don't see you as somebody who is playing, the victim, or who is wishing this connection would come back. They're seeing you as somebody who appears to be very beautiful, very powerful, and very happy on their own. And they feel a little bit left out of that. But also with the Six of Pentacles and the Two of Cups, I would say that they're also very, very happy for you. They want this for you. I would say that they also want to be a part of it. If there's anything that they did in which they failed you in some kind of way, or they let you down in some kind of way, this is indicative of them feeling pretty remorseful of it, or at least acknowledging that perhaps they did not give to this connection the way in which they should have. And I think that they're kind of wishing that they would have an opportunity to come together and show you that they can. However, with the Two of Wands here in Temperance, this seems to me like this person is biding their time. This person is feeling as though there's no rush. I think there's a lot of care here with this Two of Cups showing up. It feels like there still is a lot of care and concern for your well-being, and they're watching you grow and blossom, and they don't want to take away from that. So they're waiting for the time in which it seems as though it will be appropriate or healthy for them to come forward with an offer of some kind. We also have, for your channeled messages, we have, I remember every detail of that day, and I'm so attracted to you. All right, Pile 1, well, this is what I'm seeing for you today. If this reading resonated with you, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. I offer mini readings like this in my Etsy shop. I also offer more in-depth readings, written readings, video recorded readings, so please feel free to check those out and purchase one if you're interested. Thank you so much, Pile 1, for watching, and I hope that I'll have the chance to see you in another video soon. Bye! Hello, Pile 2. So today's mini pick-a-card reading is a no-contact reading, and we're going to be looking at how your person remembers themselves in this connection, how they remember you in the connection, as well as how they're currently feeling about this separation. And I also have pulled in a channeled message for you as well. So they are remembering themselves in this past connection as the owl. Actually, we'll put that there. And the child eternal. And they're remembering you in this connection as the teacher and the dolphin. So pile 2, I would say that this person is reflecting on how they showed up in the past, and they're seeing that perhaps you saw a lot of potential in them that was never that never came into fruition, that never actually occurred. With the owl here, this typically represents abundance and good fortune. It's a really positive omen. But when the owl is out of balance, it's all about a scarcity mentality. And I think that this person is remembering themselves in the shadow attributes of the child eternal, where it says the inability to grow up and be responsible, as well as dependency on others for physical security. They're looking back on themselves, and they're realizing that perhaps they didn't put in as much effort as they should have in this connection, but as well as just in their own life in general. It feels kind of moochy in a way, like perhaps this person was mooching off of you, but they're looking at you and they're seeing you as somebody who really saw something positive in them, saw the best in them, and wanted the best for them. The dolphin is the energy of a healer. And when people come across dolphins, typically the course of their life is changed. Dolphins definitely are people who kind of push people toward or guide people toward their karmic path, their karmic lessons. And they're seeing you as somebody who perhaps has woken them up to the parts of themselves that they need to work on, or the aspects of themselves that they are holding back from the world or from themselves that's limiting their own joy. And with teacher here, it seems like you were just so much more than them in their eyes. You were above them. You were out of their league. You weren't on the same playing field in their view. You were somebody who was much more ahead in life and had a lot to show and a lot to teach this person, but it doesn't seem like the owl, or essentially your person, was ready for the lessons that you were attempting, or perhaps unaware, in an unaware state, showing this person. So let's go ahead and look at how they are currently feeling about this connection, being in separation. So we have the Three of Pentacles, Judgment, the Lovers, the Knight of Cups, the Hanged One, and we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Star. So I'm seeing still that same potential that this person is viewing themselves in the past. It seems like they're not really sure how they can get out of this without the help of others. There's an element here with the Knight of Cups and the Three of Pentacles that's kind of giving me the energy of somebody who is currently searching for somebody else to mooch off of, perhaps, or somebody else to help them get a leg up. While they see where their shortcomings are, they're not necessarily willing to actually work on those on their own. With the Lovers, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Star, this person is really under the impression that this is a destined partnership. And perhaps it is. We have a lot of major arcana cards here. But what I feel like currently in this separation, these cards are indicating to me that this person is not really doing any sort of like reflective work, or any sort of, they're not trying to evolve at this point. And you see it with Judgment and then the Hanged One. Judgment is all about a reckoning. It's all about righting your wrongs. It's all about a judgment day. But then the Hanged One is all about inaction, of just letting things be as they are and allowing things to unfold naturally. So this person is like aware of what they would need to do in order to make this connection work, or in order to grow up, but they are unwilling at the moment to do so. However, with time, they're hoping, they're really hoping. There's a lot of care here for you with the Lovers. They truly do care for you. But I think that they're content with where they're at, and they're hoping that with time, because they feel as though this is such a divinely guided connection, that with time you two will come into union again, just whenever the time is right. They truly desire to have a reunion with you. They're just content with where they're at, and they don't necessarily see a problem with how they are interacting with others. And finally, pile 2, we have this channeled message for you. And it says, I feel you leaving me behind. Okay, pile 2. Well, this is where I'm going to leave you for today. If this reading resonated, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, I do mini readings like this one, with just a few oracles, a few tarot. I also do in-depth readings that are written, video recorded readings, super in-depth readings. So please feel free to check that out and book one with me if you're interested. Thank you so much, pile 2, for giving me this chance to read for you today. This is something that I truly love doing, and I hope that I'll have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye! Hi Pile 3. So today's mini pick a card reading is a no contact pick a card reading, and we're going to be looking into how your person remembers themselves in this connection, how they remember you, as well as what they are currently feeling about this separation. And I've also pulled a channeled message for you as well. So Pile 3, your person is remembering themselves in this connection as the wolf and the dilettante. And they're remembering you in this connection as the vulture and the liberator. So, Pile 3, I would say, based on what I'm seeing here, that it was probably you who ended this connection, or perhaps you were the one who initiated distancing yourself at first from this connection. And it's showing up here as something that they remember about you. I think this is still something that is very heavy on their mind. They're remembering themselves as the wolf, and the wolf is a pack animal. It's an animal that cares very deeply for their family, for their tribe, and they're remembering themselves as somebody who cared very deeply for this connection. However, I'm also getting the energy with the wolf as an energy of somebody who is very determined or stubborn, expects everyone to have the same ideologies or values as them, and when that doesn't happen, conflict can arise within the pack. And I think they're remembering you as somebody who really wasn't going to put up with this stubbornness, wasn't going to change who you were or change your own values in order for this connection to mesh well. It seems like they're remembering you as somebody who had their own thoughts on life, their own values on life that were very freeing and different than what a lot of people have. And you were very, very happy with where you were at and who you are. And I think the wolf felt threatened. This person felt threatened. And I think now, looking back with the dilettante here, I feel as though this person is looking back at themselves in the shadow attribute of it, which is pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. This person feels as though they were wrong. This person is kind of waking up to the fact that they may have taken away part of your autonomy or your freedom, or attempted to do so and failed, and now they've lost you. Yeah, and if that's not the case, I would say that this person is remembering you as somebody who desperately, desperately wanted to get out of this connection, was no longer interested in it for a while this person was really just wanting to give their all to you. So those are the two scenarios that I'm seeing. I feel very strongly about the first one. I feel like that's what the majority of you are going through, but I did see that second scenario, so I wanted to mention it. So in terms of how this person is feeling about your separation currently, we have the Two of Cups, the Moon, Justice, the Hanged One, Nine of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups. So, Pile 3, this person is truly sorry, and I mean, feels a great deal of remorse. With Justice and the Ace of Cups here, this is something that is flooding their conscience right now. They're feeling guilty, remorseful. They're realizing that it was them that caused this connection to kind of deteriorate, and they feel sorry and they wish that they could make it right. But at the moment, with the Two of Cups and the Hanged One here, they're under the impression that there's not anything that they can actually do. They feel as though they see this connection as something really special. They miss you dearly. With the Two of Cups here, they long to be back in union with you. However, they don't feel as though there's a single thing they could do to actually make this right. They feel as though they messed up so badly that all they can do is just surrender to the universe and allow things to flow as they're meant to. With the Moon and the Nine of Pentacles here, this person is also very, very scared that they are losing you, that you are moving on. They're seeing you as somebody who has liberated themselves, has moved on, and is continuing to grow, is continuing to be your authentic self. and they're fearful that they are being left behind for good. They're fearful that this is a very final decision. Your channeled message that you received is, sometimes I stay awake thinking about you. Okay, pile 3. Well, this is what I'm seeing for you today. If this resonated, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, I do mini readings like this with just a few tarot and a few oracle. I also do in-depth video readings, written readings, super in-depth readings. So feel free to check out my Etsy shop if you're interested in any of those. Thank you so much, pile 3, for giving me the chance to read for you today. And I hope that I'll have the chance to read for you in another video soon. Bye! Hi, pile 4. So today's mini pick-a-card reading is a no contact reading where we're going to be looking into how your person remembers themselves in your connection, how they remember you, as well as how they're currently feeling about this separation. I've also pulled a channeled message for you for at the end. So, pile 4, your person is currently looking at themselves as the Elephant and the Alchemist. And they're looking at you, or remembering you. They're remembering the both of you. So they're remembering themselves as this, and they're remembering you as the Cobra and the Hermit. So I think it's interesting because the Cobra and the Elephant are both fiery animals, and they both are very wise. The Elephant represents wisdom and auspiciousness, and the Cobra represents patience, humbleness, being a student of life. And I think that they're remembering the both of you as two people who were very like-minded but approached life in very different ways. I think with the Hermit here, there also could be energy showing up here that is reminiscent of perhaps you having withdrawn before this connection was officially over. But there's an element here of you kind of retreating to yourself rather than coming toward this person, and your person remembering themselves as somebody who perhaps was more goal-oriented on their outward goals rather than coming toward you as well. It's like they're remembering the both of you as people who perhaps like were parallel, like had parallel experiences or lives that never really crossed entirely. Yeah, it's like there was like a lot of potential here that never actually merged. But let's go ahead and look at the tarot. So this was right here. These got messed up. So this is the 4 of Swords. Here we go. This is the 7 of Cups, the 4 of Swords, the Lovers. Here, let's put them up like this. We have the 2 of Swords, the King of Swords, and the King of Pentacles. Okay. So I would say that this person currently, when it comes to this separation, is feeling very confused about what happened perhaps, or about what it is that they should do, about what it is that you're feeling. They just don't know. And because they don't feel as though they have this like knowledge or insight that they would like, they feel frozen, like they're having analysis paralysis. I see it with the 2 of Swords, and I also see it with the 4 of Swords. I think also with the 4 of Swords and the King of Swords that this person is viewing themselves currently as this king, and they're feeling as though they've been put on the back burner by you. And they're kind of under the impression that it's not going to be for forever. Like you've put them on the back burner while you go and explore other options perhaps, and then you're going to come back. And those options don't have to be other people. However, I do see another king here underneath the Lovers, and I think that this person is under the impression that you are seeing other people currently, which is kind of why they don't feel as though they should be taking an approach. This person just feels confused. I don't see anything here that's negative, like toward you or anything like that. It's more so like they're focusing on how they feel they're being seen or treated by you right now. Yeah. They think that you've moved on, but not for forever. And I think they feel like if they were to come forward, they would be rejected right now. And then for your channeled message, we have, I replay our conversations over and over. Okay, pile 4, well, this is what I'm seeing for you today. If this reading resonated with you, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can do so in my Etsy shop. Thank you so much, pile 4, for watching this video today, and I hope that I'll have the chance to read for you again in another video soon. Bye! Bye!